guys, it's Nicole, and I'm so excited to tell you that my debut cookbook, Vegan Party Planning, is now available. It's called Vegan Party Planning, Easy Plant-Based Recipes and Exciting Dinner Party Themes, and it's exactly that. It is how to throw a vegan dinner party. Whether you're vegan, non-vegan, or you just want to eat more veggies, I think whenever you're entertaining and sharing food, it is one of the most special ways to connect and make memories. It's one of the best ways to make your house really feel like a home, and sharing really delicious vegan food is my personal favorite way to spread the message that eating plant-based meals can be really delicious, and I think it really helps to open people's eyes and eliminate the misconceptions that vegan food is going to leave them feeling hungry or that it's going to be flavorless. The recipes in this book are all made with very simple, accessible, plant-based ingredients. That was very important to me, and I made sure that there was a lot of overlap so that you don't have to have one ingredient just to make one recipe. There's a lot of very familiar staples and pantry essentials that you can use to make all the recipes in the book, and you don't have to go out and buy like specialty ingredients just for one thing. I really wanted this to be a reflection of how I cook, but also kind of spread my wings a little bit and show you that vegan food can blow people's minds. The recipes in this book draw from cuisines from all around the world, and there's some really interesting and unique recipes, and they fit into dinner party themes. So my book, Vegan Party Planning, is broken up into two parts. Part one is how to throw a dinner party, and part two consists of 8 fully themed plant-based menus that have appetizers, drinks, mocktails, main dishes, side dishes, desserts, all completely vegan, and they all match the theme. The themes also come with complete grocery lists as well as a schedule, so you can make some of the stuff in advance and have a little bit more fun at your dinner party because you're not doing everything day of. It also has decor ideas and tablescape ideas, and all of the recipes in this book have pictures. That was a really important thing for me. I wanted to make sure that every single recipe has a picture, and I took all the photos myself of the recipes, and so it was really, really, really important that they kind of exemplify the feel that you get when you serve these recipes. One of the menus is called Summer in Italy, and it was inspired by a trip that I took to Capri, Italy, and this menu is such a celebration of summer and summer produce, and it really highlights how incredible plant-based food can be, and especially summer tomatoes and basil, which you guys know have a very special place in my heart. And there's a story about a amazing rainy summer night that we had in a restaurant when we were there, and there was a cake that I created based on that experience because there's so many lemons and oranges all over Capri. And so my Italian citrus cake, I think, is one of my favorite recipes in the book. It is not only a showstopper, it looks so beautiful, but then you top it with some vegan vanilla ice cream and a little drizzle of extra virgin olive oil and some flaky sea salt, and the flavor combination is so delicious. And it's one recipe that I just love to make for people because the texture of the cake is so light and fluffy, and the citrus flavor is just very pronounced. And then when you do the olive oil sea salt on top, like, it just feels so special. Another menu in the book is called An Evening in India, and it features this coconut and spinach saag, which is one of my favorite recipes I've ever developed, and it's an excellent way to sneak in veggies, especially if you're going to be cooking for people who are a little bit weary of vegan food. Maybe they don't love to eat their vegetables. This is bursting with flavor, and the starter on this menu is so good too. You make your own double onion flatbreads, which is this recipe right here, and you serve it alongside cucumber raita, which is this really refreshing cucumber and cilantro yogurt that is so good on both the flatbread and on the saag recipe. While it isn't a traditional saag, I did get a stamp of approval from my boyfriend's father, who is from India, and he really liked it. So that made me feel so good, and I can't wait for you guys to try it. This is not only one that I would be so happy to serve at a dinner party to friends and family, but I also make all the time as part of my weekly meal prep, and I really hope you guys enjoy it as well. Another one that I love is based on my experience working in a French cafe in LA. The menu is called Passport to Paris. My sister and I love the movie Passport to Paris, and this features a French corn soup that was one of my favorite things at the cafe. I never in a million years thought that I would be able to recreate it, let alone make it vegan, because it tastes like buttered corn peppercorn on the cob in a silky smooth soup that you just want to dip fresh bread into. Like that was like my favorite thing when I worked there. I would get some baguette, I would put butter on it, and I wouldn't even use a spoon when I was eating the soup. I would just like dip the bread into it, and it was like this little bit sweet, little bit salty, rich soup. And when I was able to recreate it vegan, game over. Also on this menu is my lentil au poivre. I think one of the most unique recipes in the cookbook because it was inspired by steak au poivre, and steak au poivre has this very specific sauce. It's a peppercorn cognac sauce, and it's a flavor profile that you really don't see a lot in vegan cooking. So I wanted to create a dish that was totally different. Obviously it's with lentils, but it is something that has such rich flavor that I think vegans and non-vegans are truly gonna love it. And the dessert for this menu is a vegan apple tart tatin. And when I used to work at this French cafe in Los Angeles, we would come around with the dessert tray and we would show it to people. And it always elicited a lot of oohs and ahs because it had a really incredible array of French pastries. Sadly, none of them were vegan, but I wasn't vegan at the time. This was way, way back in the day. I loved that the people in the know knew that the apple tart tatin, while it may be the most rustic and potentially the most unassuming dessert on the tray compared to, you know, the Napoleons and the eclairs and the lemon tart, and there was a Saint Honoré, like there were some really gorgeous, stunning desserts. The apple tart tatin was one that was rustic and kind of simple looking, but the people in the know knew that that dessert was just so incredibly delicious, and I really wanted to create a vegan version of it. Now, the history of apple tart tatin is actually interesting. It was created in the 1800s by two sisters, and it was actually a bit of an accident. It's an upside down apple pie basically, but so much more flavorful than your typical apple pie because it has this delicious caramel sauce that like glazes the apples, and they slow roast in the sauce. It is so, so tasty. But it was a little bit of a mistake. They flip it over and they're like, oh, this is what it's supposed to be. And they just went with it, and people loved it. And it's become a very popular dish in French restaurants all over the world ever since. And so I really loved the idea of including that in this cookbook as a dinner party recipe because it's actually meant to look rustic. And so it kind of takes the pressure off when you're entertaining your friends and family. It's okay if it doesn't look 100% perfect or the apples aren't entirely perfectly arranged, because that's how this dessert was born. It was kind of born as sort of an oops. I think there's something really cozy and homey about the fact that it is rustic. And any of you who have ever tried to make homemade caramel may be thinking, there is nothing easy about making caramel. Even though there's only one ingredient, sugar, it can be very finicky. And one of the reasons I'm so proud of this recipe is because I found a way to make vegan caramel sauce that is foolproof. You cannot mess it up. There's so many special recipes like that in the book. So whether you make the full themed menu for a dinner party or just kind of pick and choose and integrate these recipes into your weekly routines, I'm so excited for you to try them. The other thing that I think is really special and unique about this book is that the first part of it is how to throw a dinner party. And it really is one of those things where, I don't know if you can relate to this, but sometimes I just want someone to tell me how. Tell me what to do, tell me exactly what to do, simply almost like lay it out for me in black and white so I can just refer to it now and again. And that is how I wrote this book. You can read it cover to cover, you kind of curl up, get cozy. I love reading my cookbooks like real books. And so I wanted the book to be able to be read like that. But I also wanted it to be kind of very straightforward and act as a guide that you can reference whenever you're throwing a dinner party. So you can just kind of pick it up and look through some of the checklists. And I have how to stock your pantry, how to think about the timing. I know that's a big thing. I used to be really worried about how to make sure that all of the food would be hot and ready at the same time. So I talk about that in the book. Part 1 also has some of my favorite kitchen gadgets, the ones that I think are actually necessary, and also some of my favorite serving items and like what you actually need and don't need for hosting people in your home. There's something really, really special and unique about cooking at home and having people in your home and sharing a meal. And so part 1 of the book is really just how to make that easy, how to make that accessible so that you can do that more often. So as I mentioned, this book is called Vegan Party Planning, and it is now available for pre-order. And pre-ordering the book is one of the best ways that you can support me and support this book and help it to become a success, because it really lets bookstores all over the world know that there is interest in vegan party planning. And so they'll buy more books and put them on the shelves for more people to find. And it's just such an important way to ensure the success of the book. So if you want to support me, please go ahead and pre-order the book. I will put it down below. It is available on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, Target.com, a lot of independent bookstores too. I'll put those down below, as well as Indigo. And the last thing I will say, and I'm going to try not to get emotional, but I did write you guys, specifically my YouTube viewers, a note in the acknowledgement section. And it is the only part of the book that I sat and wrote in one sitting and did not have to edit. It was pouring out of me from the heart. It's a short little paragraph, but it's basically a thank you for being, I'm gonna cry, for being here and for supporting me and for coming back each week. And I hope that when you get a copy of my book, you'll flip to the back to the acknowledgement section and read the paragraph that I wrote to you, because I am so grateful for you. So thank you. Most of all, I hope that this book helps you to feel empowered and inspired to do more home cooking and to host people in your home and share food with them, share vegan food with them, and to make memories and to have that warm, cozy feeling that you get. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. But like that warm, cozy feeling that, oh my God, okay, hold on. Just that feeling that you get when you host people in your home and you share food with them and you make memories in that way. Like, I love that feeling so much, and I hope that this book helps you guys to have more of those moments in your life. I hope you guys enjoy the book. Thank you so much for everything, and I will see you in a video very soon. Bye.